What's up, everybody? Today we have special guests Anshul and Gaurav, one of Launch My Agency's clients here. So today we'd love an opportunity to get to know them a little bit on a personal level, who they are, why did they decide to become entrepreneurs, why did they decide to launch an agency, and of course, why did they choose to partner with Launch My Agency? We're going to go through all the experiences they've had, the ups, the downs, everything, the highs and the lows, right? So with that being said, thank you very much for joining us, Anshul and Gaurav.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. So, if you can just begin with just like letting the audience know a little bit of who's Anshul, who's Gaurav, what do you guys do, like, previous kind of background, 30,000 foot overview, and then we'll kind of take it from there.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, I'm Achal and my husband Gaurav.
Hey, I'm Gaurav.
We are a couple living in the US. I work 9 to 5. I'm a risk and fraud analyst.
And I am working in the IT technology industry. I'm working for a big four company.
I'm working for a big four too. So it's just that we 9 to 5 is not so good when your kids are growing up. I have a teenager and a 6-year-old. So I don't get enough time to spend with them. I felt that my little one needs more time from me. And we were looking out for opportunities to invest, something that would help me leave my 9 to 5 and like I'm kind of interested in. I came across
Okay. So let's kind of stick there, right? A little bit. 9 to 5. There's so many, I'm sure, your colleagues, right? There's so many colleagues that you guys have, and they're probably perfectly fine with having a 9 to 5, right? Why did you guys decide to say, hey, enough is enough? Or was there like a moment for you guys that you guys kind of just drew the line in the sand and said, I need my own business? Was there something like that for you guys?
So we've been looking for investment purposes since a quite lot of time, but now it was like because of kids majorly. So if I'm not around all the time, it's not good for my little one right now. She's in that stage where she really needs a mom all the time around her when she's back from school. So I think we decided on something, we looked at other stores and, franchisee outlets and everything, but we don't want something where I get more busy. This is going to be like, I can use my 9 to 5 time to set up my own business. So this is giving me more convenience and something which I like. I enjoy watching ads at Facebook and shopping. So something which I know how what the customer would feel and what the customer wants. So I was scrolling through Facebook and I came across you actually and talking about LMA. So I was like, oh, let me just check this out. And I followed you for a couple of week and so, and then I discussed it with him. I said, let's check this out. I think this is interesting. And I really love the way you talk. And you talk about your vision with so much passion. That is what I like. So it's more of, I enjoy my work, undoubtedly. But because of family reasons, I want to do something else. So
you're doing it for your kids, basically, right? It's not for yourself. It's for exactly. And is it like kind of like, because we talk to people all the time as well, similar situations where, their parents and they're like, I don't want my kids to be raised by the government. I don't want them to be raised by the school system, right? Different cultures, different ideologies and stuff. So I completely understand, and I can't wait for you guys to like absolutely crush this because it means it's bigger than you guys, right? And most of the clients that do, like most of the people in life in general who just absolutely crush it in life and in business are the people who do it not only for themselves, but for other people, their family, their loved ones, whatever the case is. It's a purpose that is beyond yourself, right? So that's, I respect you guys a lot for that.
thank you.
And also, I would like to say is like when she said about looking for other investment options and other businesses, I think being in a brick and mortar business would still bind you to certain timings and like make you reliant on a lot of people to run that business, and you can probably not be as flexible as a 9 to 5 sometimes because you can't like take vacations and stuff. So what appealed to us with your Launch My Agency was the way it is like a digital marketing, which probably gives you that flexibility and also allows you to kind of work across the world. It's not that you're bound to the local
Yeah.
city or something like that. So I think that also really appealed a lot. And what I felt is like she is the main runner of this business. And I think the way she is temperamentally, it also appeals to her that way. By watching whatever like we could from Launch My Agency and other digital agencies. So I think that was really something which led us to kind of this path.
Wow. Okay. Amazing. Can we talk a little bit about the different opportunities, right? Like specifics, just like you said, brick and mortar. I mean, a lot of people, restaurant business, that's just like the first thing that they're like, hey, let's open up a restaurant. And the reason why they do that is because one person has done it, line of the cousins, the uncles, everyone's doing it. And they don't realize that a restaurant business is the toughest business in the US for low profit margins, so much, but they all do it because it's group like thinking. Right. So for you guys, if you guys don't mind kind of like going a little bit into the different types of franchise opportunities as well that you kind of like had in place, and then what led you towards a digital marketing agency?
So we did think about, we have a group of friends who are into education classes. So we thought about that too. Then we don't have, the city that we live in doesn't have a prominent Indian boutique kind of. So we did think about that too. Online, eComm store, and we came across a lot of things. And I think 2024 was me researching on all these things too, only.
The whole year you just researched, and the whole conclusion of all that research led you towards launch my agency.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm telling you, Gerard, the way you speak, the passion of your vision, you talk about it so amazing. Anybody would, like a magnet, you're just pulling people in.
And one more thing is like now we know more about it when we are inside, but even when we were looking at it, the first thought was, why would somebody who runs an agency enable other people to run an agency? Because isn't that a competition?
Competition,
So
yeah.
that was one of the things which we thought, like, how does this really work? But then
Yeah.
into it, then we realize like what is the power of it and how it can.
100%. What you're saying is absolutely correct, because every single person we talk to, they're like, hey, why don't you just either do it for yourself and they're absolutely correct. However, if they go a little bit deeper, do you know that every single day there's 137,000 new businesses that are started every single day? So if we have like how many agencies can handle those? You can't. There's so less digital marketing agencies compared to these businesses. Another stat, if you look at, most business owners in the US are all older people. What does that mean? Number one is they're still stuck in their old ways of like, they're doing their ads on radios and, TV, newspapers, and all those old and outdated methods, right? But also, they don't have the skill set themselves, and they don't want to, right? I mean, this is tech, this is digital, and they're loaded with money. They have the money. So they would rather pay people like you and I $5,000-$10,000 per month per client to be able to just do it for them, right? So when you look at those stats, you realize like, oh my God, there's so much opportunity. And another thing is like for us, right? If you take a look at Launch My Agency, how we actually really win is on the back end. Is when you start landing clients, well, you're probably going to give them to us to be able to manage those clients for you as well, right? So it's kind of like that's the business model that we decided to kind of run with. Awesome, cool. So completely understand like where you guys are coming from, right? And kind of like the different opportunities that you guys had. Let's talk a little bit about your guys' specific digital marketing agency, right? What niche is it? What kind of offer is it? If you can elaborate a little bit on that for our viewers.
So we are into a luxury e-com business niche, and we are targeting
E-commerce agencies who sell very
High ticket.
yeah, yes,
high ticket.
Understood. Luxury brands. Wow. That's a good niche. Is this like drop shipping or is it like just regular?
regular e-com.
Okay. Gotcha. And I'm curious, why did you guys decide to kind of like pick that?
Oh, we did go through lots again here. We did a lot
Yeah,
of
that was
research.
one of the like toughest things which we had to go through initially. Like, how do you really decide? Like, we were trying to scramble and ask, like, launch my agency, the people who were working with, that how do you do it? Like, and they said it will come to you. You just go through the process.
I had
And
2 calls with
yeah,
Mo. I was like, Mo, I don't know. What do I do? So he's like, you can call me anytime. I'm like, you're actually inviting me to trouble you. He said, don't worry, I won't get troubled. I'm like, okay. So I call him twice. Like, I can't, I don't understand. So he's like, don't worry. And then we had somebody else as our coach, but then Nate came over. Amazing. Nate is amazing. I have
Yeah.
nothing else to talk about. That guy, he is so amazing.
yeah, just talking to him, like,
Yeah.
sometimes lifts the spirit so much that, yeah, let's do it. Like, sometimes if we are sagging and you talk to him, like, he gives us so many ideas that we are then back to the drawing board and we know what to do next. So
Amazing. Yeah, it's like I think Anshul, you're right. Like it's also hitting me where you talk about, sometimes when like I'm in the day to day, I kind of forget I'm just doing the tasks and stuff. But when you brought up in the beginning, you're like the vision that you have, and you brought it up a few times, and now I'm starting to also realize like, yeah, you're right, because every single person that we have at Launch My Agency is designed for a specific role, right? Like you said, Mo, hop on calls anytime. By the way, for the people watching, Mo is my brother. He's my younger brother, right? So it's like we as owners are personally involved with the success of our clients. And Nate's amazing. Just I love talking to him as well. If I ever have a bad day, I just pick up my phone and I call him up, right? Because he has this ability to just like lift us up. And sometimes, we kind of need that. And also like his professional career, he's worked with some of the largest companies in our space, HubSpot, ClickFunnels. He worked very close with Russell Brunson. So, the team is pretty stacked. So I'm glad that they kind of like helped you guys, right? Like be kind of like hone in to the niche and give you a little bit of clarity on that part, right?
Yeah, so we were like considering a business, or like we were very much like they said you can go with any niche which you are already involved with. So we had like kids activities because we have two kids and we know we have to like take them to so many things. So we thought maybe we can reach some businesses which deal with kids activities and promote them. But then, like based on talking to Launch My Agency, we also realized that maybe we should cast a net which is like much more expansive than just restricted, because we would probably be more restricted to local businesses if we go with activities and engage with those businesses. So some of those considerations like
Sorry.
just to decide the niche. And also like Anshul was also interested in like luxury e-commerce, and she has been on the consumer side of it, so she knows a lot about how it works, and that also helped us in deciding it.
Sorry about that. I'm a little sick, so you know, coughing, all the time. It's like I'm gonna cough my lungs out sometimes. That's what it feels like. Sorry, what was the last part you said? I didn't catch that quite.
No, I'm saying like deciding the niche also involved us like looking at kids activities, but then we were brainstorming with launch agency, and like somebody said, probably it may not be as expansive a reach compared to something like e-commerce. And then I said like Anshul already has good exposure to e-commerce, luxury e-commerce products, and she's on the consumer side of it, but she has some matter knowledge about it. So that led us to kind of this path.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things. What you guys said is previous experience. So a lot of times clients come to us and they're like, "Oh, but I don't have any experience in digital marketing." Well, that's okay. You may have experience in another field, right? Like someone can be an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor. Let's leverage that. And I think you guys did a great job with like being able to leverage the previous experiences, skills, passion, mission, and vision that you guys have, bring it to the table, and we work together to kind of build the company up according to that. So not only do you have an edge over the marketplace, right? The people, your competitors, you have an edge over them, but also you're going to be able to have that passion, right? Like the business side is sometimes it gets a little challenging. So when it's just like anything in life, you go through ups and downs. And when you do go through a down, you won't really quit. Why? Because you're still passionate about it, right? Your passion is just going to drive you towards just continuing versus most people, unfortunately, they're just chasing the money. And that's one of the most biggest mistakes you can ever make, because when the going gets hard, the money doesn't come in or whatever, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to quit and go do something else? That's not a real business then. So I think you guys took that very, very seriously. I'm curious, like I think, and the viewers as well, so far progress wise, like how far are we? What have we done? I know like we started the business from scratch, right? From zero. We didn't have much going on. So kind of like the building blocks, if you can elaborate a little bit on how the progress has been and what you guys have achieved so far.
So we did launch our agency in mid-Gen, and we have been working with Nate and Ken's and Ken's, Maria. So all these people are helping us launch our agency. So we have started getting our clients. There are obviously it's a learning curve, right? With Facebook, and we actually understand that. So
Yeah.
we had some issues with landing the correct kind of clients. We had clients before, but it was not the leads, not the clients. So we didn't get the kind of clients, the leads we were looking for. So then they optimized our search, and the target audience. So all these things we are working on, and we purely understand that these things do take time. It's algorithms, and we understand that it's not going to happen in a night.
Right. And you guys just started a few weeks ago, right? Like Jan.
More high level picture. Like we started engaging with Launch My Agency in October last year. And then we went through the initial process of learning, because before you actually launch your website and your campaigns, you need to go through a learning curve. And I think there also I would like to say, like, you have really good content on how to get started from scratch and what other things you should look for. So that was one of the first things which was pretty intensive to go through that learning process. And then the team helped us in creating the website, the brand. So we went to and fro about what should our logo be, what should our name be, what is the niche we want to go into. So all that took like a couple of months. So yeah, we started with the, like, now we are on the CEO program of Launch My Agency. We were not on the CEO program before. We were on the accelerator one. Okay, if we are doing a 9 to 5, we may not have the focus required to get some of these things out. So we, again, Mo helped us in like figuring out, okay, we also offer a CEO program where you can be a little hands off. You are still owning the business, but you are still a little hands off, and the team can do some of the stuff for you. So that helped us probably to accelerate the launch of our agency, which happened in Jan.
So we started with Accelerated, but when we got in, we saw, the Slack channel having everything at one place, the sales, the marketing. Like, oh, this is awesome, and it's like, even after research, what you're offering, you are not telling that enough to people. When we joined in, when we saw all this, how cans works, how your team works, how your coaches work, how you have planned everything, all these things did matter. And then I'm like, no, no, no. And then I spoke to Mo. I called him. Okay. So I spoke to him and I asked him, I said, you know what? I can't. Please, if you think, get into a CEO program, believe me, it's going to be amazing. So I was like, yeah, why not? Then we did. Then again, Nate is amazingly helpful here, explaining things, and your team at Cairns. I reply at 11 in the night, and they start early, I think, because they are in different countries. So I immediately, before sleeping or when I wake up, I have a message from Maria, until this is not happening or this is happening, or you can talk like this to the client. They are so awesome. We had issues with, I mean, actually, I wanted to understand how the back office works so that I can explain it to my client. The whole team, Nadeem, Maria, so they all hopped on the team. They explained me what happens in the background so that I am so sure when I'm taking the discovery call with my client. So it's awesome, really. I vouch for you guys, it's beautiful. Beautifully planned, amazingly organized, and awesomely you have launched it.
Yeah, so
Thank you very much.
it's been a good process.
So Anshul, one thing I just want to kind of hit on. Did you say that you would like us to maybe present the things from the back office, or like what we're doing in the back versus, like, in the marketing, right? There's only so much we can put out. But then when you come on board, are you kind of referring to, like, there's so much support, so many people, so much resources that we give to the clients that they don't even know of what they're getting? Like, it's basically under promising and over delivering. Is that accurate?
Yes, exactly. But you are, I mean, I know, if you open Facebook, there are a hell lot of people. You don't know what's a scam, and you don't know.
So that's my exact point.
Are not informing people enough, I would say.
We're doing the opposite.
You're doing the opposite. Yes. So you should be actually talking more and interviewing more, and, because you guys have cracked it. Believe me, we work in companies who are in
I mean, we work in the Big Four. So we work with a lot of clients who are like organizations, big organizations,
big banks,
and we have not seen like the
disorganized.
coordination and the amalgamation of the tools that you have and how it works. So I think it's pretty amazing. And initially, like when I looked at some of the Excel sheets where you say it's a daily tracker or a weekly tracker, it's like to the nth level you have gone into making sure that people do their due diligence. And I know it's more to enable people to get to that level. And sometimes if you are not having some of those things, you may miss doing a lot of stuff, right? Because those things give you like enablement, which I think
The
is really
training
important.
on school, the school concept itself is so amazing. Step by step, you have broken down things, and I mean, even if I think if I tell my teenager he's 14, if I tell him go through these, I'm sure he will get 90% of it. It is so amazingly put.
Mm.
Very nice
And
job.
of course, the catch is like somebody who has to do it, he has to go through it. It's not that you can put it in their head, but
Of course, they have to believe it from their brain and their heart. You know what's really interesting? What you just said, Anshul. Your teenage son, 14 years old, right? If he does these actions, he'll get those results. And I'll tell you this, the opposite as well. We had a client, her name is Monica. I don't know if you guys heard the story or not. She went from zero to $86,000 a month in 5 months with us, and she didn't even know what a digital marketing agency was. And on top of this, I'll give you even another example. Yesterday, I had a call with one of our clients, and she's also in her 60s, by the way. And 30 minutes after the call, I told her to just implement one thing. She landed a $5,000 a month retainer, like $5,000 a month retainer 30 minutes after our call. I can even like literally show you. Let's see. Just so you can see, like this is, and people watching this as well. 6:38 p.m. yesterday, my call with her ended at like I think it was like right before 6 p.m. And like in 38 minutes or so, she gets her first $5,000 a month client. You can see
Yeah.
that.
that's amazing.
100%. So it's like the principles are always the same. It's about what you said, it was very important. It's up to the person to accept it, right? Like we can put all the cards on the table for you, but if you don't pick, you know what I mean? So there's a little bit of responsibility on the clients as well, for sure, right? We will never come in and tell you, oh, completely passive. And just like you said, Anshul, there's so much BS out there in this world. And it's very heartbreaking, right? Because what these people do, unfortunately, their marketing and their branding is so good. And then when people come on the back end, there's nothing. There's like no onboarding call. There's no process, nothing. Until you're basically telling us we're the complete opposite, where we don't have many resources on the front end, which means that we're doing the market a very big disservice, right? So that's something that I started to realize as well for the past few weeks, which is why I have you guys even on this call, right? I told you in the beginning, I'm trying to attract more clients who are like you. We don't work with everyone. We disqualify, I think like last I checked was about 45% of people. We just completely disqualify them just because we're not their champion. God has put us in a very fortunate position to have multiple businesses. We do over 8 figures. So we don't need business, so, but we also feel like we have a treasure box that people need. Like they really, really need it. And, I just want to let you guys know a little bit of the vision behind Launch My Agency as well. Is like, we built this for ourselves, right? Like you guys have, you just compared us with a bank, like those big banks, like how their processes, these guys do billions and billions of dollars. And you said we're better than them when it comes to the process and systems and like how we operate, right? But it's because like we've done this for 9 years in this space over and over and over again. We've taken all the arrows in the back for you guys. So now we give it to you on a silver platter. But at the end of the day, it's up to you if you choose to accept it or not, right? We can only do so much. It's like a marriage, right? Both parties have to do their part.
No, you cracked it amazing. It is the whole thing, the whole process is amazing. And
Awesome.
when you say that it's 8 weeks time and you would get the money back, a guarantee, you are giving that on your face is on the screen and saying it.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody have seen do that, like holding the hands till you deliver what you promise.
Yes.
Of course, the client has to also put in their part, but then that's pretty amazing.
Of course, it's a proven system. It works every single time. Just like yesterday, I had a quick call with that lady. 30 minutes later, she makes a $5,000 a month retainer. What's the value on that? That's per month. And not only is it 5,000 a month, but it's also the beliefs that she had. It got shattered in a good way, right? Like a lot of times we think that, oh my God, who's going to pay $5,000 a month? Trust me, there's so many business owners that will. And once you do it once, you're like, oh my God, can I do it again? Yes, you can, right? There's a reason why people sometimes they charge $200-$300 a month for their services. And, if they come to us and tell us the very first thing that we do is like, no, we're not doing that, right? Why are you going to undervalue yourself? What you have is, as long as you can deliver on the results, like you shouldn't charge that low, right? You're devaluing yourself. So once people understand that, like, oh my god, clients will line up. There's never an issue. If you know what you're doing in this space, if you're good, people need that. It's a big need in the marketplace.
And one more thing I would like to add, what I noticed when I was talking to your team is that everybody has been through this process. They are your previous clients, maybe, who have joined your team, and they understand that what you're thinking is right. Your vision is absolutely to the point, and you are working on that. So they have joined, whether it be the sales guy, the marketing guy, Nate. I think they all have been in my place sometime or the other in their lives, right? So I'm expecting,
Exactly. It's like,
I see
go ahead.
the growth, I see where they come from, and they understand me more. That what is why am I anxious? What are my thoughts? When I start a call with Nate, he says, I understand where you're coming from, and I really get that he really understands. He's not just saying it for a statement that I understand what you're doing. No, he really understands that where I am sitting, what I am saying, and he has a answer for that because he has been here in my shoes sometime in his life, right? So that is amazing. So people are actually sharing their experiences with us for helping us grow so that we don't make the same mistakes, or we whatever they have cracked, we get a part of their knowledge, their wisdom. And I really enjoy that. It's nice. It's really nice to meet people around same similar community. The community also what you've created is awesome. Like-minded people who really want to grow. Somebody who doesn't want to work is will leave the community immediately. I mean, eventually that's going to happen, right? They won't understand what's going on here in the community. So it's very
100%.
I can go on and on for this. Okay.
I appreciate the kind words. This is moving, honestly. Like, this just made my day, and this is why we do these things, like giving people an opportunity to just get out of that 9 to 5 and kind of like take care of the kids, just like you said. And I mean, this is generational stuff. Like, what if one day you guys sell your agency? We've had clients sell their agencies for 7 figures. We had one client sell his agency for 13 million, literally just following the same exact steps. There's nothing different, right? Just show up to the calls and just do the things that we ask you to. And you're not going to be working like 18 hours a day. Absolutely not. Right. It's like the time, there's a big misconception in this space where it's like, oh, you have to hustle and this grind culture. No, I think that's one of the things that attracted you guys as well with us is like, we are lazy entrepreneurs in a good way, right? Like, we use our brains, we use leverage, we use the team, we use the systems, the processes, and the structure versus us just grinding every little detail. That's not really how you run a business. So appreciate the kind words, guys. Any kind of final thoughts, right? Like, if there's someone watching this right now who's on the edge of, maybe they've been burned in the past, maybe they've spent XYZ dollars, their last few dollars, or, on a course or a program or with coaches or whatever, and they've been kind of scammed, or, if there's someone on that edge of the cliff who wants to join, what would you guys say to them?
I think the one thing which I would say is like the vision is big. It's not about selling like services or commodity. It's more on selling or enabling the client to solve some problems, which kind of if it excites you to solve problems or to get outcomes delivered, I think this is the right place to do it. Because even like I'm not 100% involved here, but I get excited when she talks about her clients or leads and what they need. And I also try to get involved, and the way you present the proposal and stuff like really appeals to me. So it's about a big vision. It's not about smaller things or like getting by, as you said, $200, $300. It's about a big vision. And how do you realize it? How do you also think big to be able to do it? I think that's really what.
And I'll add, please
Mhm.
take that step and join this amazing team. They are
Yeah.
amazing. Take my word. I have been here, October to March, but it's been a wonderful learning experience right now, and I'm sure to achieve what I am thinking in
And
the
a team that doesn't leave your hand,
yes.
which is amazing. Like it's not about, okay, your time is this much. Let's see how much you can do, and then you transition. It's not like that. It's like we are there for you. until you need us and until you are enabled yourself. So that's another great thing about it.
Amazing. All right. Thank you guys very much for showing up here. I think it's gonna give a lot of value to, the people watching this as well. And if there's anything I can do personally as well for you, just let me know. And yeah, hope to see you on the inside. Take care.